I'm gonna make a meal, not really lunch. It's gonna be like several meals in one, I think. Lunch and dinner, and maybe lunch for tomorrow. Because I got carrots. I have about half a jar of cream, 3 beets, a chicken, and some spaghetti. And I gotta turn this into a meal that lasts me about 3 days. So that's my objective, and that's what we're gonna do. I have some milk, a little bit of milk left. I have chile. I have tomato. We're gonna use all of this. We're gonna use all of this to make a meal that you'll get the tripod, which I forgot to bring. And how are you, by the way? What's going on in your lives? Have you given it like and subscribe to my channel? Ooh. Sometimes I get a little out of whack and say and do things that are out of whack. But mostly I don't. I keep to myself. I try not to offend anybody more than they need to be offended. I have no hate for anybody. I have no peculiar desire to hurt anybody's feelings. I'm a pacifist, a pessimist. I'm a pessimist because what I observe is honest. I'm an honest observer of human nature, and if you're an honest observer of human nature and you're not a pessimist, you're probably a fool. But I'm also an optimist. I feel we're all trying to get this game of life straight, and we don't have a rule book for speaking. I mean, we don't really have like a clear, decisive, concise rule book to say, oh, this is the way things should be. We just go at it the best we can. Like, I'm going to do this chicken. I'm going to do this chicken the best I can. And let's go do it. Let's get to it. Let's go do it. Let's get to it. So, my concept for this chicken, I love cooking. Don't you guys love cooking? Poor little chicken, man. I wish he wasn't so delicious. I wouldn't be eating so much chicken if they weren't so delicious. But they are delicious. And I probably owe them a million lifetimes as a factory chicken for my sins against them. But I mean, it's really weird. It's really, really, really weird. If you look at my kitchen, back here in the back of the fridge, I placed all the principles. There says transforming cities in healthy environments. It's not impossible, but it is difficult. And on the other hand, transforming our negative habits is something that it's within our reach. And here's the ethical reasons for not eating meat. Here's the chemical properties of meat that are negative. Here's a letter about vegetarianism from the Hare Krishnas, the vegetarian adventure. Why should we not eat meat? The materials that we need to maintain a healthy body, arteriosclerosis, and physiological characteristics Vegetarians and Carnivorous People. Great book by the Vaishnavas about meat eating and not eating meat. And here I am cooking up this poor innocent and put a little, this poor innocent chicken. It did nothing to me except taste good. So do I feel guilty about it? Yes and no. Yes, because I know everything about this. I know how toxic it is to eat this cadaver. And no, because it's delicious, it's nutritious, and it's chicken soup for the soul. So there's this duality in me that really knocks me out. I mean, I don't even know what to tell you guys. It's beyond the beyonds of, what I can even explain or talk about because I don't get it. I don't get it. So, what I am going to do though is that I'm going to cook the chicken and the vegetables separately, and then I'm going to combine them. Why am I going to do that? Because if you look at my tools, I'm not going to use firewood. I was going to use firewood, but it's too much work, and I need to work on my writing. Here's a pot for the chicken, and that's going to be the pot for the spaghetti. This is a pot for my coffee, and this is not big enough for the carrots and the beets to go together and boil to so they're soft. Because I want to get them soft to a nice boil. I'm going to take the juice, keep the juice aside. I'm now keeping juice in jars because it's it's good sustenance. So I'll boil these. I'll keep the juice. I'll put the juice aside. I'll fry this, but with a little bit of water so that it cooks well. I'll show you. I'll show what's going on here. It'll all become clear as I begin to do it. Right now we got the broth over there for the pasta. I cooked the chicken legs for my cats, and I'm using the broth of the chicken legs that I cooked for my cats for the pasta because it gives the pasta a delicious chicken flavor, which is kind of what we want to get. So first thing we're going to do is we're going to boil the beets and the carrots together in a kind of, and I got to go to the garden. Let's go to the garden and get some basil because this requires basil, and I have garlic. I bought some garlic. I've planted hundreds of garlic plants all over the garden, but I have to go buy garlic because they're not ready yet. They're all, and I wanted nice chunky pieces of garlic to do the sauce. So let's grab some garlic. Oh, God, that's pretty. Put some water on my plant over here. Look at that. It's really dry. I need to desperately water this. And just a tiny little bit of this. Gives it a nice pungent. But what I really want is the basil. It's cold outside. It's still cold, man. The weather's not getting any better. And I'm stuck on rewrites. I can't finish the next script, so I don't have any money. Oh, God. A little bit of this, not too much. And I don't want that. It's too strong. Maybe I do. I don't know. Sometimes you put too many spices and it makes it too, too flaky. Just a tinge. We'll see. Because I actually bought chile with lemon. Let's see. All right, we'll just put a little bit of all my spices in there. Just a tinge, just to give it a little extra oomph. I'm not gonna drown it in it. I'm just gonna give it a little greenery, freshness from the garden. You know, you don't use all of it. You just use a little bit. Principally, the basil is what I wanted, which is this one over here. And I will use all the basil. And these two are very strong. Ruda particularly. It's very. I use these for the cleansings. So I'm just gonna put three little leaves in there to give it a tinge of that. But I don't want to drown it in there because I've drowned some other chickens in this stuff and it's too strong. Makes it too strong. All right. Gotta put some water in here. Boil the veggies. I'm gonna leave the veggies boiling for a while. And the vegetable juice from the boiling vegetables we'll put in a bottle and we can just drink it like that, or we can use it as a stock for some soup later on. So it's cooking is an art. You gotta find the art of it. And first thing is the beets, which I desperately need for my blood pressure, and the carrots, which are good for the eyes, are good for a bunch of stuff, and we're going to talk about it as we. I guess I can put the camera so you guys can look at what I'm doing. If I do it like this, you guys can look at the meal as I make it. I'm looking for the right angle. The camera guy in me always likes to figure out the right angle for things, and you can more or less see everything in there. So yeah, okay, that's a good angle for the camera while we talk and make some chicken. Pichu. Meow. Just gotta show you my cat. I love that cat. Ramira, ¿me amas? Sí, ¿verdad? Yo te amo a ti. Te amo mucho, bebé. Eres mi gran querer. Me das amor y afecto. Y duermes conmigo. Y me echas pulgas en la cama. Por eso tengo Raid. I have to use Raid on my bed, just on my bed, because little baby over there has a tendency to bring fleas to the bed. So I have never been bitten by fleas in my life, and suddenly I found myself in this battle to the death with these new type of fleas that are just totally aggressive and nasty, and then I felt sorry for my cats, because they all have them. And I realized, oh my God, I got to do something about it. So I bought some Raid House and Garden, and I spray exclusively my bed, because that's where they attack. That's where they breed. That's where they take hold, And they gave me some nasty welts. Uh, I sprayed Raid on them, and they were gone, man. They were finito, finito. Gate, paragate, and all that. I detest uh, poisons like Raid, and I hate using them. But since I'm gonna cook these on the water, I'm gonna actually do it very tiny. Um, should I put the beets with the chicken, and then the carrots? Hmm. You know what? Change the plans. I only have three beets, and I can use three beets and some carrots, and I can then put the carrots with the pasta. Yeah, that's what we're gonna do. We're gonna put the okay. We're changing our plans. We're not doing separate vegetables. We're gonna mix it all up, because the chicken is gonna be the sauce. We're gonna make a chicken sauce with the beets, and I want the full color of the beets. So I am gonna cook them with the chicken. That's kind of what's gonna happen here, and I'm gonna put them first, and the tomato sauce at the very end, and tomato sauce at the very end, and then the cream after the tomatoes. Yeah. Okay. So I think I have it in my head kind of straight. So we're gonna cut the beets very small. We're gonna put them as a bed for the chicken. So all the juices of the beet will go into the chicken. It'll make it very red. It's full of iron. And the carrots we're gonna cook with the pasta. I'm not gonna take advantage of all that delicious carrot juice, but it's okay. I don't know. There's a part of me that wants to do the carrot juice thing, but nah, I think so. Or maybe I just put a couple of carrots and I make a carrot salad later on or something. That could also be it. So I don't have to cook all the carrots. Just use a few of them for the pasta and the chicken. Decisions. As you go cook, as you when you open your fridge and you pull out the elements that you're going to make your meal out of, you start a decision-making process. You start this kind of like alchemical relationship to your food. You know what you need to be healthy. You know what you require to feel well. Like after I eat a half a chicken and some beets, I feel good. So I know what elements I need to have in my meal. The spaghetti I have to be very careful with because I love it, but it doesn't make me feel good. It makes me feel tired, and I always have to take a nap after I eat spaghetti, right? So it's not something I should eat too much of. Oh shit! I just dropped some beets. I gotta do the floor after this. But the kitchen is the ultimate, like, magical room in the house. It's the most magical. It's where the magic potions are going to be made, and every meal you make is a magic potion. Every meal you make is, an experiment in health and not only like health, but spiritual health. It's like, when you eat a chicken and you don't recognize you're eating death, you're not getting the full benefit of that. You got to see the inner vampire in you, the inner werewolf that is eating this chicken in a ghoulish way, to recognize the strength it gives you. The Vedas speak about chicken, and meats in general. The only people that are supposed to eat meat are warriors, and they eat meat because the meat gives them an extra aggressive element, in their demeanor. If you don't eat meat, you're very passive. You're, like a cow or like sheep. Sheep don't eat meat, and look at them. They're very tranquil little beasts. On the other hand, if you eat meat, the Bible says, you shall eat of these animals, you shall eat of these animals, you shall not eat. Well, if you eat meat, Vikings, let's not even go there. You're a warrior. You're ready to go, beat the shit out of people. You don't necessarily want to be in that state of mind constantly. It's not a good state of mind. It's not a pleasant state of mind. Certainly, it's not a state of mind that behooves you if you're trying to be, a social animal in a modern society where killing people is not necessary or essential. I mean, warriors, Shaktras, the ones that are supposed to eat meat, were the caste of people that the Hindus say, have to go beat the crap out of people. The police, the army, the people that have monopoly on the use of force. But I'm an American, and we Americans have always believed in militias, and then the right to bear arms and all that stuff. And I think that's a good thing. I think, being able to defend your family and your home from home invaders, at least, it's not a bad thing. It's pretty based. I don't have any weapons. I don't have any fire weapons. I don't think I need them. I think I can defend my house more or less effectively, based more on the knowledge of the terrain and stuff like that. But if the situation was different, if I thought I needed fire weapons, I would get them. I wouldn't worry about it. All right, guys. So another big question. The carrots are not going to fit over there. And if I put them with the chicken, they're going to... No, you know what? I'm going to use like 3 or 4 carrots. The other thing I could do is that I could put the chicken in the oven with the carrots, and then everything gets really nice. Then I take the chicken out, and I use the tomato to cook up the... That's what we're going to do. We're going to put the... I just found the solution to my problem. I don't have to use the oven, but it's cold enough that I don't mind using the oven. But I do want to use... I need to eat all these carrots, man. I need to eat vegetables. I'm not a big veggie eater. It's not like my favorite thing to do in life. And I'm not going to eat that many carrots, man. Well, I can cook them all, though. All right. So here's what's going to happen. We're going to put the chicken. You guys remember when I made that on the chicken? It's going to take a while. It's going to be a 2-video thing because the spaghetti's going to come after. Just pull the spaghetti. Or maybe I made a... The other thing I could do is I could do like a spaghetti with this. And let's put 1 carrot with the spaghetti, because when you put a carrot with the spaghetti, when it's cooked with the spaghetti, it makes it really soft and beautiful. And these I'm going to keep. It makes it awesome. Old trick, Italian trick. It was taught to me by an Italian that you should put carrots in your spaghetti when you cook your spaghetti. Gives it a carroty magic, but you gotta do it like for the spaghetti. You gotta do it very, very tiny pieces, because the spaghetti cooks faster than the carrot. But if the carrot is cut very tiny, they cook more or less at the same time, and the carrot is going to be crispy, and the spaghetti is going to be al dente. which is a nice thing to have. Spaghetti al dente. So you make some very tiny little pieces of spaghetti of carrot, if you can see them. Very tiny pieces of carrot. Oh, sorry about that. Trying to get the right angle and see if I can do it this way. Get the right angle this way. There's no angle there. It has to be this way. Sorry, guys. Trying to be camera guy and the spaghetti guy is not so easy. It requires a little finesse. You can see the carrots there. See them over here. So I'll put the spaghetti, and this will cook more or less at the same time as the spaghetti, but so the kitchen is the ultimate spiritual laboratory. My dad is very big on that. He's the one. I think he's the one that instilled in me this love for cooking. You know, because he's totally a chef. I mean, he totally like gets himself into the. He likes to make these gruels. He makes like soups and gruels mostly, and they're really good. They are really good. All right, I'm gonna put some carrots with this. No, we're okay. You know what? Not all the carrots. It's too many carrots. It's like 2 kilos of carrots. I think I overdid with the carrots. These I want to do some experiments with. So I'm going to take the stems and see if I can plant them and make them grow. Because having fresh carrots from my own garden would be a very nice thing to do, huh? Yeah. Gosh. And then just, having a nice, like a carrot to just munch on. Keep the biggest carrots. I'll put the small ones in the soup. And the chicken, I mean. And then we'll not drown the chicken in carrot, but we'll have plenty of carrots to make a beautiful spaghetti sauce. So that's what we're going to do. I took about 2 kilos of carrots, and I took about 4 carrots off the grid, off the menu, which I put in the fridge so that I can focus on the chicken. And yeah, I think I'm going to put this chicken on the oven. Because if I fry it, it's going to take forever. No, you know what? I could fry it. Yeah. With the carrots and everything, yeah. Problem is that these cook better on the oven. They get softer. Or with water. And I don't want to put water on my chicken. Let me think. No, let's use the oven. Let's just use the oven. I mean, I have an oven. I can use it. Let's use the oven. I don't like using the oven so much because it takes way too much gas. It just, uses all my gas, and I've already used it once this month. And when I use it too much, it has a tendency to leave me without gas, and I don't like being without gas. I need my gas, man. But I think this chicken deserves going into the oven. So, if you have not seen how I make chicken oven on the oven, let me just show you. That's the bed of beets. I'm gonna make a bed of carrots, Why do we put the vegetables on the bottom? Because that way, when the chicken starts to melt, the grease on the chicken starts to melt, it goes right into the vegetables, and the vegetables absorb the grease. And that makes a delicious, soft vegetable that just totally makes your water mouth, and that's what I'm aiming here for. Now I do put a little bit of water on the bottom so that the vegetables will not stick to the bottom. Um, so they go evaporating. The water will evaporate, but the vegetables will not stick on the bottom of the pan when the chicken starts to melt over them. And that's kind of what I'm aiming for here. So that's a lot of carrots, man. That's a lot of carrots. Let's put one more, and then let's keep these three. So I put about a kilo of carrots. There's a kilo in there. A kilo of beets, a kilo of carrots. So 6. It was originally. Let's see, how many carrots have I done here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 carrots, big carrots, and I put 6 back. So I'm using 4 carrots, but they're big ones. So they're about a kilo of carrots and a kilo of beets. And maybe I should put the carrots on the bottom, so the beets will. You know what? Let's put the carrots on the bottom. I'm just going to put the carrots on the bottom, put the beets on top. I'll just mix it. Just mix it really. But I do want, principally the beets I want on top. Beets kind of have a very sweet thing going there. So you got to be careful because they are sweet. They have a lot of sugar, sucrose. Carrots too. Carrot has a lot of sucrose. So sugar crystallizes when you cook it. Put it in the oven, so it'll stick to your pan, and that's what you don't want to happen. You don't want that to happen. So I'm gonna mix and match over here. All right. Now goes the chicken. And dear chicken, excuse me for eating you. I am so guilty of being a cannibal and a ruthless murderer for eating your flesh. But I thank you for giving your flesh to me to eat. I know you didn't live a very good life, and I know that your life was kind of like difficult because you're probably from some factory and some rural part of Mexico where they torture you from egg to oven. So I beg your forgiveness for all these sins that I've committed against you. But my dear chicken, you are delicious. Your name was Rodolfo the chicken. And your purpose in life was to feed me. Feed me. Why are you so delicious, chickens? Why can't you be a little bit less good tasting? Why do you have to be so utterly delicious? I don't know. It's weird. The curse of chicken kind. Their curse is to be delicious. That's all there's to it. The only crime this chicken ever committed against nature was that he was too delicious. Totally innocent chicken. Another wonderful thing about putting carrots with spaghetti, it doesn't stick. It doesn't stick to itself or to anything else. Chicken legs go for my cat. The liver we're gonna cook separately. seen me done this before. And we're going to just, I usually break the chicken in two. Cutting right over here, like that, and like this. And then you grab them by the back, and you break it in two, and you cut where the bone is. It was funny. I was trying to do the podcast, my cooking podcast, and my cooking show when I started the channel was Cocinando con el Pulpo, which means cooking with the octopus. So I did a search on that name, and all I got was a bunch of recipes for how to cook octopus, and it gave me the willies, man. It was like, oh my God, they're eating my parrots. What's going on here? You know? Weird. Weird. Weirdest thing that I've done well. All right, so your chicken is now in two pieces. And again, you're going to break the leg like that, and you're going to find the bone over there. And then when you find that little piece of bone, you cut right there, and you're going to just cut through flesh. Maybe a little cartilage, but it'll give you a good cut. See, it'll leave the bone out. Oh, careful there. Sorry. Come on, camera. There. It'll leave the bone out, and I guess a butcher and a doctor are kind of the same thing in a sense. They have to know where the muscles are and all that stuff. I am not a great butcher, but I do know where the bone is. Okay, and then the next thing is we're going to put some, well, we got it over here. Let's do this here. And let's break the bone again. Find the bone. I buy this guacal for my cats all the time. It's very greasy. They love it. And then I ended up eating myself. I buy chicken for my cats, and this piece over here, it's cheap. You can buy these pieces. Most people want the leg and the thigh, so they don't buy this. And this they sell cheaper. But I actually love that part. I absolutely adore that part. And of course, as you know, I always just cut the wings out, and I leave this into one piece. This is to go on the bottom, because that's the grease. The grease is going to help out here. Oh, poor little delicious chicken. Why did I have to like chicken? My grandmother, my Mexican grandmother, Maria Antonieta, was in a fight to the death with my mother about meat, because my mother met Prabhupada, and Prabhupada convinced my mother that meat eating was a bad thing. So all during my childhood, my formative years, my mother would not cook meat. She would make all vegetarian meals. And my grandmother, who was a great communist warrior, okay, let me do this here first. Well, let's cut over here. Just take this part, the neck part. I love the funny bone. I'll show you now that you've done, got your attention here, I'll show you what I do with the funny bones on this chicken, because I have a funny bone art form. Then I gotta get the neck out. Okay, there we go. There's the neck. All right, so let's wash my hands for a second. Spaghetti's ready. Let it simmer over there in the water. So there was a fight to the death between my mother and my grandmother about me eating meat as a child. My grandmother would have we had a servant, we had a cook. She did the house cleaning. She cooked for us. Like all the rich families in Mexico, we had servants. Weird. It's also weird. Let me show you the art piece, though. What I do with the chicken bones. I should do it with all the bones, but I like particularly these bones because they. I'll show it to you. It's from my Dungeons and Dragons campaigns. The rests of a dragon. That's a dragon that, and that's actually 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15 chickens to make that art piece. Still gonna paint this a little bit. It's supposed to be a desert floor. It's too pinkish. I need to make it more. These are all my art pieces for my campaigns, Dungeons and Dragons campaigns. But I have nobody to play with. I have absolutely nobody to play with. You know? All right, so let's take a look at what we got here. We got the spaghetti with the carrot. That's already done. We got the chicken. The oven is getting nice and warm. You got to put the one spice I put on the chicken is the chile piquin. It's just salt, lemon, and chile. And that's the one thing I put in there. And because I put it in here, I put it in one part of the chicken. I'll show you. You cover one part, then you turn the pieces around like this. Even the little thing like that, okay, like that, and then you cover that part with your piquin. So that'll soak into the flesh of the chicken, and then you put the other pieces on there, and you do the same thing one more time. You know, I'm gonna keep one fresh chicken leg for my cat because she loves chicken legs. Gotta put these here too, like this. Okay, good. I'm gonna probably use the whole chile piquin. It's only 10 pesos, which is about 50 cents. Or maybe 20 cents, I think. And it you can't use enough of it. It's like the chile is not so hot, and it gives everything a wonderful, amazing. Why do I put this piece on top? Because it'll cook. It's the one that cooks slowest and the most closer to the fire it is. I mean, if I bury it on the bottom, it cooks slower. So I put it on top. And then this is going to make a beautiful cape of chile piquin on top of it. That's going to actually crust over, and it's going to like create a kind of, well, you'll see. We'll do the second video when it goes in. I'm going to put this in the oven, and then we'll do the second part when it comes out, because it needs to cook for a while. So in the oven it goes. And let's see, it's a kilo of chicken and a kilo of chicken and a kilo of carrots and a kilo of 3 kilos of stuff in there. So I would probably want to give it around 2 hours. About 2 hours at 200 and what did I put it? 260, right? Yeah, 260. 260 for about 2 hours, and that's going to give it a really nice, well, you'll see. If it's not, 2 hours, if it's not ready after 2 hours, you give it some more time. Cooking is an art. And when you go, supposedly the great Vaishnava cooks on and all the ISKCON and Brinda and all those Hare Krishna cooks, they're not supposed to taste the food before it's served. I don't believe that. I think you need to be able to taste your food before you serve it because if it tastes horrible, you don't want to serve it, right? And they say, well, if you're a good cook and you follow the instructions exactly to the to the uh, to the minutia, um, you don't have to taste it. It'll be perfect. But here's the thing about that. What if you confused your salt with sugar? Or if you confuse your sugar with salt? What if one of the fruits that you cut up was no longer so good? It was not as fresh. What if the kitchen is full of accidents that can happen, and the only way to not have a culinary accident is trying your food before you serve it. That's just my 10 cents. I mean, I'm certainly not a chef or anything. I just like cooking. I really enjoy the kitchen. The kitchen is one of my favorite rooms in the. No, actually, I'll take it back. The kitchen is my favorite room in the house, and I spend a lot of time in it because I enjoy it. I enjoy eating and I enjoy cooking. So it's going to be a two-part video. I'll see you in the next part when we bring that chicken out. It's going to be two meals. It's going to be a baked chicken, and it's going to be a spaghetti based on that baked chicken. So I'll show you what we're talking about later on. All right, peace out. See you in the next part two. How do I turn this off?